was arrested in Boston, Massachusetts. He killed between 23 and 200 people.
I love
It's a wide margin,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Very wide.
Literally, I was like, that's a...
But it's because of the hotel vibe. So who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. So, and then in 1952, archaeologists reported finding a 2,000-year-old mosaic floor at Cyprus that depicted a scene from Homer's Iliad.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I definitely hope it was the scene of the island of lesbian cows.
Oh my gosh. And then we have
Lesbos.
this week's banger of the week from 1962. It's the Four Seasons Big Girls Don't Cry. And all I thought about was Fergie.
Yeah, same.
So,
I was like,
but I listened to it and I'm like, it's the Big Girls Don't Cry.
is it the same song?
Big girls, they don't cry. No?
Okay, so like the verses are different then?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Because I'm definitely into the Fergie.
I know. I'm into both of them. All right. So that's it.
So this week's episode, super chill, super laid back.
Yeah.
We're doing Sherapy, which is sharing therapy.
Where we talk about things we're going through and how to deal with them over the holidays.
So catch up time 2.0.
Yeah. We basically did this last year, but we feel like it's a necessity to do every year.
And people's different levels, your need for different types of self-care changes.
Yeah.
You know, like last year, where was I last year? I was working at Gojo. I needed a lot of physical rest time. Because I was working such a physically demanding job.
Yeah.
I don't need physical rest this year. In fact, I need some activity. But what I do need is alone time. That is a staple that never changes for me.
Yeah.
While I am a social person, Sophia once said that I am an introvert with a strong personality.
Yes,
and that's why I get mistaken as an extrovert. Because I've got no problem fitting in and talking to people.
Yeah.
And, you know.
We're the same in that way.
Yeah. But it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
You're exhausted.
But I'm exhausted.
And it takes longer to recharge from those kinds of
like last night.
Events.
Start of festive stuff. I had a birthday party I went to.
Yeah.
And it was for Elaine, which is my brother's girlfriend, mother of my beloved niece and nephews.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I have something else to share about that. Don't let me forget.
Okay.
You know, we had a blast. Like, my whole family ended up being there. Andrew didn't come because he's got the sniffles.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, it was my mom, my dad, my brother's obviously there. It's his house. So my brother, my sister, and myself. So the 5 of us were together. And then Keith was there, you know, Elaine, and then some of Elaine's friends.
Elaine was there for her birthday party?
I know.
Oh my gosh!
Right? And we were playing a game called That's What She Said.
I love that.
And it was, I mean, it's Cards Against Humanity, really.
Yes.
And it was fun. And, you know, we all laughed and had a blast together. It was great. When it was time for me to leave, it was time for me to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, I mean, I stayed later than I thought. However, I did go to Starbucks and get a Trenta iced coffee before I went there. Oh my
gosh. Oh, before. Okay, that's I went. Fine. Still, that party was at 7:00. What time did you go over?
7:00.
Okay.
Trenta
iced coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But you were partying.
I was, and I knew I was going to be partaking in certain activities. And
yes.
And I needed energy. And before that, actually, Adric had called me from Elaine's phone and was like, hey, because I'm still paying for his phone line, even though his phone's been, he broke his phone like 2 years ago. And it was contract bound. Well, everything's all reset on that. So we went out and he got a new phone. He had a free upgrade, got a free $200 phone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's all protected. There's, case, screen protector, whatever. So I was already out. And Adric's like, well, it was 6:30 at that point. And he's like, are you just coming over to our house now for the party? And I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, yeah, I'll follow you there. And I get in my car and I'm like, yeah, Starbucks.
Yes.
Because I was already up in that
Yeah.
plaza.
Yeah.
And there was only like 9 cars in front of me. And that's practically empty
Practically.
at that point.
You should have seen it this morning when they opened. I still had to wait before in the entry.
Oh, I'm
way.
sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I spent all this time like around my brother, who is so fucking loud.
He is so extroverted.
He is so extroverted.
There is no introvert in that body.
There's no interrupting him when he's talking. He's going to interrupt you, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I had fun, but it's exhausting.
Yes.
And so when I left last night, I turned to my dad because I was giving him a ride home because I knew Mom was going to stay and help out. They were still playing games. But I was like, all right, Dad, I'll take you home. I go and I drop Dad off. I come home, take off, first thing I gotta do is take off my pants.
Yes.
And I come upstairs. I talk to Andrew for a minute and I'm like, I just need to go be horizontal and alone.
Yeah.
And so I just laid in bed and scrolled and talked on TikTok.
Yes.
And just, I had to decompress from that.
That's how I am in the mornings when I go to work. I just sit in my car for 5 minutes and I'm listening to Ladies and Tangents or whatever, and I start scrolling through Facebook and I just kind of sit there and I breathe.
Yeah.
And then I go inside and I get my coffee and my water set up, and then I just sit there and just kind of don't talk to anyone until 8:00 because I just need a moment to be myself and in my thoughts. Because all morning I'm getting myself ready, getting my lunch packed, then I'm waking up my children or dealing with my children while I'm doing all of that stuff because they're already awake, and then getting them dressed and then trying to get them out the door. And it's just my brain's everywhere. And it just depends on the time that I wake up, because I have 3 different times that I wake up depending on the level of things that I have to do in the morning, kind of thing.
So people, give yourself a moment of stillness.
Yeah. Even if it's wake up 30 minutes before you're supposed to, get your coffee going.
I'm not recommending that because I can't do that.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to do that on the weekends because I'm used to waking up and my kids aren't awake yet. So I have a minute to wake up and be me, and then I'm not frustrated with them.
Yes.
And I need to do that more on the weekends to help set my mood.
Girl, that's what I did this morning. So I woke up because I thought, well, first of all, Percy needed to go out.
Yeah.
And I was checking my phone because Dad said he may or may not go to church this morning.
Okay.
And so my mom's been working Sundays, so I drive Dad to Teresa's house, and then she takes him to church.
Yes.
So I was waiting for that text, and then my dad had texted me and was like, hey, sissy, I'm probably not going to go to church this morning. And then Mom texted me, Mom calls me sissy, not Dad.
Yes, I know.
He was just like, I'm not feeling well. I'm not going to go. And then Mom was like, Dad's not feeling well. He's not going to go. And I'm like, girl, I already know.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, though, Mom. And I was like, I could go back to sleep. I even walked back in the bedroom after letting the dogs out. But then I got on my phone, and that's when I looked and saw the extra stuff. And I was like,
thank goodness. Yeah.
And so, I did my panic research.
Yeah.
And, it was done, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could go back to sleep. I was like, no, Sina, you could fold some laundry at your pace. Just listen to some music and just sort of folding laundry is a chore, but it's one I don't mind because I just sit and do it.
Yes.
Unless it's up
That's
in my bedroom.
That's why I do it after the kids go to bed. I have my couch to myself.
Yes.
To where I can have my stuff that needs folded on the right and everything that's folded on the left. And it's just.
Yeah, it's like a system.
Yep.
It works. I have my coffee table, and so I put my basket on the coffee table.
Mm-hmm.
And, I divide my clothes up into stacks.
Yes.
And then Andrew gets 1/4 of the laundry basket, and I have 3/4 of the laundry basket. So I'll fold whatever, and then I'm like, here's your clothes, put them away, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I put them away, I don't.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't know about anybody else, But
I didn't even look at the notes that you put. I didn't
Oh,
put
I only
any
put like
notes for
4. I only put
this.
4 things down. I get panicked about what people are going to think about my house.
Yeah, I know.
And so like
You're single, not single. You're a single family to where you have you and your husband and you have no kids. Where I'm like, yeah, I have kids. Is this news to you? This is how my house will look. Go ahead.
But I get overwhelmed like if I'm hosting anything.
Yes.
I'm going to probably scrub my walls and freak out about my handrails or something.
Shauna.
Yeah.
Bleaching her baseboards literally hours before we arrive or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's because I'm so worried about the judgment that people are going to think I am a slob. Like, oh, you live like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking do. Like that's what I just need to say is like, yeah, this is how we live.
This is how I live. If you have a problem with it, leave.
Yeah. But I find for me, a therapy thing is, and what I've been doing, and I think I've talked about it before, is when I get off work, I try to do one chore.
Task, yeah.
One task. And normally it's dishes.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do that, Andrew's been getting really good about if I'm doing a chore, he's going to come do a chore.
Yeah.
Too. He'll be like, either ask me or I'll be like, hey, I'm doing this. Would you do this for me? And while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And then normally he'll end up doing extra stuff. Like last night I was washing dishes or yesterday afternoon and he started cooking after I finished dishes. Of course. Or like while after.
Yes.
And I was like, there's some just grittiness under my feet. And then he just because I literally brushed my foot.
Yeah.
And he swept the whole kitchen.
Yeah.
Took the broom out of my hands because I went to do it.
Yes.
Took it out of my hands, swept the whole kitchen, and so I didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, bless your sweet heart. Thank you. But just the little tasks, for me, dishes are the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Trying to maintain and keep up with it. And maybe that's giving myself, if I do it every day, it's like 10 minutes.
Same.
It's just 10 minutes, but it's doing it.
Uh-huh.
And if I have a cleaner kitchen, I can focus on cleaning the rest of my house.
I'm a happier person.
Yes.
I literally walked down this morning. I'm like, look how clean it is.
Yeah. And sometimes
there may be stuff everywhere, but it's just a lot.
Yeah. And therapy is not, and self-care is not just, let's talk about our feelings and feel better and treat yourself.
No.
Sometimes it's making yourself do something.
Yes.
And that's the fucking dishes for me. Because I will have a mental breakdown.
Pete Davidson TikTok I sent you where he's like, when he was talking about his depression with that interviewer.
Yeah, the one where he's like, I want to die every day. Yeah, but I've got a mom and a sister.
And I just have to make myself do things in the morning to make myself happier. Like, even if it's going for a walk. And I'm like, I feel that, Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah. I felt that interview just because we're talking about it. Andrew and I talked about it this week too.
Yeah.
Because I was like that. I'm like, that's how I feel all the time. I'm like,
yeah.
I think about suicide and death and escapism and every single day.
Literally.
But I'm at a state where it's like I can deal with it. You're fine. No, bless. What are you laughing about?
Because I think the same as him where he's like, he's like, I don't have the balls to kill myself because I have like a mom and a sister. I'm like, yeah, I could not do it because I can't imagine how my children would be sad and Cena would be sad and I couldn't live with that and I wouldn't be living. But like the thought of how it would like ruin so many people.
Yeah.
Or so many people, like whoever, like literally I could not
do that to someone else.
Yes, exactly.
Like that alternative is worse than me dealing with whatever I'm going through.
Yeah.
And if anything ever happened to you,
literally,
I would just hold your children and cry.
I literally was like, if Cena ever died, I probably would not. I don't know how I would literally do anything.
You would come to my room. This
I probably
your office.
Yeah, I would move in with Andrew, so we could take care of each other.
Yes. Yeah. Andrew asked me the other night. He was like, it was yesterday when we were making spaghetti.
Yeah,
and he's like, don't freak out about this question. This is not me